good morning guys. How's everybody doing? It's another week and I am in my favorite spot. I am in the studio and I have got a shot that I've been wanting to do for a little while. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Now this photograph I want to take is just for me. It's just for the portfolio. It is just a promotional type of piece, and I've said this before and I think a lot of people will agree with me. The best ideas are drawn out on a napkin. Here's a McDonald's napkin. I've kind of drawn this out. Let me see. If you'll notice, I'm a horrible drawer, so that's kind of out the window. And to be honest with you, here are my notes. So in this video, I'm going to kind of fly by the seat of my pants as I put the whole thing together and show you what I'm doing, because I haven't really systematically put it out. But what I want to do is I want to take this Godox flash. I want to drop it in water. You can see the fish tank behind me there. I want to drop it in the water, and as it's splashing into the water, it's firing. That's the goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see if we can pull that off. Now, as you can imagine, I'm really not going to drop it in the water because that would ruin it, and I have no desire to ruin my flash. Plus, it's not going to fire as it drops in there, so the whole thing's going to be put together in Photoshop. Smoke and mirrors, as always, in the studio. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take one shot of the splash. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. I actually went out to the dollar store and purchased this. I found the closest thing as far as size and clear. I'm going to take these labels off, and this is what I'm going to drop in the water to make the splash. I'm hoping that because it's clear and because it's about the same size, it'll make a good splash, but it's also something that I can Photoshop out. And then we'll take a pretty shot, well lit, with this thing open and, you know, all the blades out. We'll get this nice pretty shot kind of at a nice angle. We'll get the flash going off, and then we'll Photoshop the two things together. So that's the vision. Now you notice I've got towels all around here just in case we do any spillage of the water. At the moment I've got a black background, and I think that's what I want to do because I think the strobe light popping at the same time it hits the water will come off that black background. We'll see how that looks. But now I gotta fill the fish tank with water. Let me show you my little lighting setup for what I think I'm going to do for this splash shot. And we might have to tweak it a little bit, but this is my initial setup. So I've got the tank set up, and I always, when I do something like this, I turn the tank at a little bit of an angle so that my camera is not looking directly into the glass and then seeing myself or the camera in the reflection of the glass. So the tank is turned to the side just a little bit. We're going to have to work on, because obviously you can see some reflections. We'll have to work on that. But then I've got one speed light over here, angled at an, hopefully not going to see a reflection in the glass from that. And then I've got one strobe over here that's going to backlight things. So there's kind of the setup. And I've got nothing on the background as of yet. We may put a third strobe doing some kind of light back there, but this is where we're going to start. Now I've got both strobes on group A. Flash duration is what is going to freeze the motion in this shot. So the faster the flash duration, the more stopping power I'm going to have. So we're going to start, let's start at 1/16th power and see where that gets us. 16th power seems to get me to about f8. I think I'd rather be at f11 just to be sure that I get the depth of field right. So let's switch it up to an 8th power and see if that doesn't get us f11. Yeah, I think that's close enough to at least start dropping a few things. Okay, we're good. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think I've got the splash portion of this done. I brought my son in and he did the dropping for me, and we timed it, and I don't know, took a dozen, maybe 20 shots, something like that, trying to get the perfect splashes. And I probably will pull from 2 or 3 different ones in the Photoshop process to get all the splashes and bubbles and everything correct. But I've pulled those into the computer. I'm going to look at them, make sure that I like them, and I do have what I think I need. before I start breaking down all this fish tank portion of it. And if it's all good to go, what we'll do next is take the beauty shot of the actual flash, and that should be a whole lot easier than the splashing part. So out of the 20 shots that I've taken, I've flagged 5 of them that I think are very usable. Now it's going to take some Photoshop magic because I don't think the splashes kind of went in exactly the same direction that I want them to, so we'll probably warp and twist. And one of the things that I found is a little bit trickier is shooting that on a black background, which I think I still want. I was kind of open to changing it to white. I've done splash things on white before, but I don't know if you can tell there, just over my shoulder, but with the darker background you can see reflections in the glass, and it's not that front piece of glass that I was dealing with, it's reflections of the bottle falling into the water on the back piece of glass. So I don't know how you could get rid of that very easily, at least not in camera. In Photoshop we're going to be able to do it pretty simply, but I always try to do things in camera as best I can. But I think we got the splash we need. I think we got what we can work with. So now I'm going to move on to the beauty shot of it, and that should be a whole lot easier actually. So I think the challenging part to this is going to be to get it to sit just right, because I want to see the bottom. I want to see that it's not plugged into anything. So I can't just like hook it to something and have it sit, which would be easy. Somehow I need to get it so that it's sitting in an angle to where I can kind of see that. Not sure how I'm going to do that. Let me show you how I've done this one. Much simpler. One Godox V1 in this little softbox. And I want to show you guys this piece of equipment. I got this recently. This, I believe it's called a Godox S2. It's just a bracket that the light goes in there and then it torques down and holds the light in there. And it can be a round head or like a rectangular head. There's a little attachment that goes in there that makes it rectangular. That's kind of a neat deal. And it's got a Bowens mount to the front of it. So any Bowens softbox ring or Bowens attachment, a beauty dish or whatever, will fit into this quote-unquote speed ring. I don't know that technically a speed ring, but basically Bowens would go into that. This actual type of softbox, I'm not a big fan of this. It's holding in there just fine, but if you're on location or you move around at all, it just doesn't hold very well. But for now, it's fine. Got this little, basically 2-foot square softbox. I've got one light back here. This is an AD100. It's got a grid on the front of it, and it's kind of doing a rim light kind of thing. And then I've got a fill card, but super simple. Let me show you how this is going to work. I am once again at F11. And there's the shot. I think that looks really good. If you come in here tight, a lot of neat detail in the side of it. The highlights around the silver chrome parts is great. The bottom looks good. The blade's awesome. Little rim light across the top. I think that's going to look fantastic. So at this point, I don't mean to bore you with all the screenshots of the photoshopping, but at this point adding the splashes, it's just kind of a trial and error thing. And let me just show you real quick here. Let's see here. What I'm doing is bring in the flash, add some splash, and kind of mask it out. I put a flash on top so I can control it, and then I do another layer of splash, another layer of splash, and so I'm just kind of adding more splashes as I go and mixing and matching and kind of warping it and trying to make it look right. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and I kind of start over. But as I continue to add, we'll build. I'll probably get some opinions from some people that I trust to see what they think. And we'll get this part done, and it might take me a day or two because it's kind of one of those projects. I've said this before. Sometimes you just need to walk away from it, take your eyes off of it for a while, go do something else, and when you come back, you get a fresh set of eyes. You get it all pieced together, and we'll get there because it's coming along. It's looking good. It's going to be a neat shot when it's all finished. Well, guys, it is Friday afternoon. I started this project on Monday. I have been tinkering with it almost every night, just piecing little things together and seeing what works and what doesn't, and I've been asking around to get some opinions of certain people, and I don't know if this whole thing's coming together the way I was hoping it would. I kind of had this vision, and I'm very, very close. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to end it tonight. I'm going to end this project because I think it's good. I don't know if it's perfect, but I think it's close. And I think that if I get into that perfection mindset, I may never finish it. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to stop too soon because I don't want to be a quitter, and I don't want to go the full distance and, not meet a standard of excellence. But I think I'm awfully darn close. And I want to get this done. I want to show it to you guys. And maybe the whole purpose of this video is you guys leave a comment and say, this could have changed, or you love it, or whatever. Give me your opinion. So, if you've watched this long, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. And like I said, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about where I got with this. I'm going to sign off here, but I'm going to end the video with going through the layers and, of course, showing you the final image. And let me say this right now. If I don't mention it while I'm showing the layers, the way I did the water is I had a black background, put the water splash layers on top of the black background, and then just changed the blending mode to lighten, and it worked seamlessly. You can hardly even tell. And then I just masked out the parts that I didn't want. That part of it worked really, really well. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video, and please let me know what you thought of this. And I might revisit this splash thing. It was kind of a cool deal, and we may do it again. Have a great day, guys.